So George, are we ahead of the curve at Wheelhouse in terms of our tech adoption, or are you seeing broadly similar patterns elsewhere?
In terms of what you're doing in your specific sector, you're definitely ahead of the curve. I think it's something that people have been talking about doing for a while, but it's so hard to put into action your ideas and thoughts and views on how you can automate and really turn firms like yours into technology firms in a way, that I think people have struggled to find the right partner, perhaps, or they've just struggled to get their ideas down in a way that actually is economic. I think that comes back to our point about what tools to use. There now are tools available to do this, but you still need the imagination and drive to do it, which you guys have.
I think that's really important. It's a combination of insight into, for example, data sources which are available, along with the insight of how you can actually deploy the latest technological tools in order to drive the most value. And one of the things that's really important for us is that forward-looking flexibility, both in terms of adapting for clients' new needs as we go forwards, but also making sure that we can update the underlying technology as we go, so that things are not, so that the entire system is future-proof.
Yeah, and I think using the tools that we can integrate together to produce the output is the critical thing, because if we develop something from scratch without using market tools that are available today, then we would have that problem. We'd constantly be having to go through refresh cycles, some of which might require a complete rebuild if the whole back end, doesn't get updated or isn't supported anymore by the original manufacturers. So that's absolutely right. I think going back to the point about what other people are doing, I think some of the larger firms have tried to do this or start to do this, but they're so big, it's like trying to turn an oil tanker on its axis, whereas you guys are quite flexible in your approach. But also it's going to be down to you and your team's experience and drive right now to try and get all of those components built while it's fresh in the head.
And there's something about the attitude that a smaller firm can take. It's not just the fact that you can turn the ship that much quicker, but you can actually, and we do encourage this within our business more broadly, we have a culture of failing fast. We like to try different things in a test environment, in a safe environment, in a risk modified way. And if things work, then you do more of them. If things don't work quite, you tweak them. If things don't work at all, well, you stop doing them and you move on to the next project. So having that kind of agile mindset, I think, is quite important. And that's something we've only really developed our thinking on that by working with a firm such as yours, which deploys those kind of methodologies day in, day out. But I think it's really, really powerful to adopt that mindset, because it does enable you to make the mistakes quickly you're going to make, rather than on a £2 million project and only discover at the back end.
And when you're technology first and technology driven, you have to invest in R&D. And the R&D is not just testing stuff from a systems perspective, it's also the people's mindset, as you rightly said. We spend a lot of time as a firm doing lessons learned sessions. And a lot of that is because we're trying new technology all the time, but the engineers need to feel comfortable enough to fail. There's no blame culture or anything like that, because then people don't even try. And I can see that you guys have the same approach.
Indeed, very, very important to us, and I know it is for you as well, to make sure that we're getting constant feedback on the user experience, the client experience, more broadly than just the tech side of things. We spend a lot of time with clients, with prospects, with fellow service providers to the industry, and with market specialists on, for example, our website development, to ensure that the user stroke client stroke customer experience at all stages is being fed back to us, and that we're in a cycle of continuous improvement based on the feedback we're hearing.